Last week, so I apologize for that. In the midst of me taping my podcast, my computer locked up and I lost everything. It was gone. There was no backups. I was hoping that my software that I use would have done an automatic backup, but it did, and it was only for like the first couple of slides that I had actually set up. So it was actually gone. So I apologize for that. It was too late for me to try to get everything all back together. Plus, some of it was on the fly, so I wasn't able to actually put something else together on there and see what I could do. So on this episode, it's kind of going to be a short one as well. I know I had a short one 2 weeks ago, and I got some good feedback on that. And there are some times where these podcasts will go a bit longer, longer than some people might like or dislike, or so it really depends on what's going on. So I just want to get things going. I did have well, okay, I'll tell you what. We're gonna do a special episode of today that has to deal just with the month of November and what the excitement we have during this month. This is where the first really, I know October kind of started kicking off things with Halloween, and I know there's a lot of people that were excited about Halloween, and we had a fantastic beer review, beer panel, I should say, which we'll be doing more about other panels, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. So I just wanted to talk about the month of November. So let me throw up some couple of pictures and some stories that I do. I talk about Thanksgiving, and I am looking forward to hearing from you all about any feedback, any stories, any craziness that happens to you guys during the month of November and or Thanksgiving, and would be excited to hear from you and anybody who wants to promote their business or anything that having to do with Thanksgiving or any beer or any local mom and pops. It doesn't have to be local to me, which I'm actually in Cedar Park, right outside of Austin, Texas. It can be anybody else that has a situation that, or a store, I should say, that they want to promote. I'm all up for it. As you can tell from some of the people that I've had on here, I go all over the place. So let me throw up some stuff and talk a little bit about November, and then we'll come back, and we're still going to have our beer reviews, so I'll have the beer reviews at the end as well, and we'll talk a little bit about how the rest of the month is going to go. So here is some groovy pictures that you can talk about while I do a voiceover. Hi everyone, Javier here. So let's talk a little bit about Thanksgiving Day. So to get the definition, the generalized definition, this is coming from the Dictionary Britannica. Thanksgiving Day, annual national holiday in the United States and Canada, celebrating the harvest and other blessings of the past year. Americans generally believe that their Thanksgiving is modeled on a 1621 harvest feast shared by the English colonists, otherwise known as Pilgrims, of Plymouth and the Wampanoag, I hope I said that right, people. The American holiday is particularly rich in legend and symbolism, and the traditional fare, the Thanksgiving meal, typically includes turkey, bread stuffing, potatoes, cranberries, and pumpkin pie. With respect to vehicular travel, the holiday is often the busiest of the year as family members gather with one another. This year, Thanksgiving is on Thursday, November 26th. All right, so we got the kind of main definition out of the way. So what we need to do here is talk a little bit about any traditions that your family may have. Growing up, we had some different traditions ourselves, and one of the things that I know my mother will probably not like to hear, but one of the great traditions that my mom used to always make for us was a lemon meringue pie. And as you see in the photo here, this lemon meringue is a little bit burnt at the top, and it used to be really burnt at the top for us, and so it was quite incredible. And we always thought that it was supposed to be burnt. And so one year when I went out to a family Thanksgiving by another family, I was like, well, why isn't it blackened on top like it's supposed to be? And they all had a good laugh about that. I didn't tell them that it was my mother's lemon meringue, but it was funny nonetheless. What are your some of your traditions? Please send me a note and let me know what your traditions are. I think that would be great to hear from you all as to what you may have done and some of the craziness that may have happened in your family, either on Thanksgiving or just in the month of November itself. With a lot of things in November, we have, in my family, we have a lot of birthdays in November, and we have a lot of different things happening on. I know, football is big in the United States and in Texas specifically, and so there's a lot of great games that you can watch, or you can go out there and do a lot of play a lot of football yourself with friends and family, depending on how big of a gathering you have. I know this year is going to be kind of difficult with COVID, and you want to try to keep your social distance as the contagious COVID is out there, and we're getting more and more people with the sickness, and it's just beginning to rise. And so, I think it'd be more fun if we can get um some kind of new tradition going so that there won't be as many people out there. And so, what are you going to try to do with your friends and family on it? I usually have a either a hobo Christmas or a misfit Christmas. I'm sorry, not Christmas, Thanksgiving, or a hobo misfit. Thanksgiving, where people who don't have anywhere to go are more than welcome to come over to my house. This year it's a little bit slim, and also because of COVID, so I haven't invited as many people as I would like. Last year it was great. We were able to have some ham. I am a ham fanatic, and that's a whole separate story that I can go on and on about. Ham is my replacement for turkey. I wasn't a big turkey eater when I was a kid growing up. In fact, I hated it, and so there was always other things. My parents were nice enough sometimes to have pizza for me, or hamburgers or something like that. And finally, I my palate grew mature enough that I could start eating turkey without being disgusted by it, along with all the other things all the fixins that come with it. So tell me, what are some of your favorite holiday Thanksgiving courses? I know there's a traditional turkey, and there's dozens and dozens of different ways to have it served and prepared. And then there is the cranberry. I mean, there is the stuffing. There are cranberries. Some people love the green beans. Other people make mac and cheese. There is certainly bread and bread and bread and bread. Which this year, because of me watching my sugar intake and eating more paleo style, I might try for some different styles of bread. So I'll keep you informed on that. But I'd like to hear what kind of breads and stuff that you do. And as far as desserts go, again, I'll probably try to do something non-traditional as far as desserts go for myself and whoever shows up in my house. And I really got into last year. I guess I'll make it more of a tradition now. Is these reality um, baking shows. So the one I'm hooked on right now is the British baking show. So now they don't do anything for Thanksgiving, of course, them being across the pond. So they don't have anything, coming up that would be more traditional for the holidays for us here around Thanksgiving. But it was fun to get hooked on that, and some friends of mine came over, and we just started watching it and really getting into it. Even if you're not a baker, you may enjoy watching some of those. Now let's talk a little bit about beer. As you saw, we did, or hopefully you saw on the last podcast from 2 weeks ago, we did a pumpkin beer tasting, and that turned out really good. Unfortunately, we didn't get the pumpkin beers that we wanted because the industry started pushing out pumpkin beers in end of August, early September, so that made it kind of difficult for us to get the beers that we wanted. But it was good, and we had a good time with it. So that takes us into pumpkin pie. So what I found interesting is that there are quite a few people out there that do not like pumpkin pie, and I am quite amused by that. And quite stunned by that. And so, what are some of the people in your family? Do they not like pumpkin pie, or do they like pumpkin pie? And yes, I'm giving a lot of these open-ended questions because I'm hoping that people listening to this podcast today will want to give me feedback on that so I can provide it in the next podcast. I hope that you are doing something interesting and creative this year for Thanksgiving. I hope that you will be spending time with with friends and family. I know I will be probably be playing card games on Thanksgiving Day. I love playing card games, and I have a lot of friends that love playing card games. So I'm sure we will be getting into that this year. Please let me know anything you'd like to about Thanksgiving and what it means to you and what you may be thankful for this year. I know it's been a tough year for everyone out there, and but I'd like to hear from you and see what you have. I'm gonna go ahead and take this back to regular Javier in the air, Javier, and he'll then take us into the next section of this podcast. So I hope everyone is stays safe out there. I hope you get to enjoy a little bit of Thanksgiving food and dessert and anything else you do on that day. And we'll talk again next week right before the holiday itself. Alrighty, thanks. Hey, thanks, Thanksgiving Hub. That was Thanksgiving Hub with a little bit of a breakdown for Thanksgiving, a little story, a little excitement, what's going to be going on. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to take us to some beer reviews. I know I have some good feedback from people about how they enjoy seeing some of the unusual beers that I've found, and thank you for your feedback. And so I'm going to put some of the older beer reviews that I have, trying to get those so that people can see it. Hopefully Scott and Jana and them still have it out at the boutique. If you don't live in the local area, you can try to find a bottle shop near you and see if they have some of these beers. So I'm going to put a couple of these back to back, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about what's going to be on or what's going to be in the future for Javier in the Air, and we'll talk a little bit about what's coming up the next couple of weeks. All right, so here are the beer reviews. Hey everyone, Javier here. As always, thanks to Boutique for staying open, providing curbside service, and you can go in for purchase as long as you keep your social distance. So thanks again, guys, for staying open for us. Today's beer is Everything Rhymes with Orange IPA. It used to be Nothing Rhymes with Orange IPA, and before that it was Adaptation 3. So this is obviously a citrus. With citrusy, it's got good Simcoe hops and other hops in there as well. It is unfiltered, so let me show you what it looks like. So nice, you can see that cloudiness. That's a sign of a non-filtered beer, specifically IPA. So let me take a drink. Very good, very clean, very dry and clean on the back end, whereas a little bit hoppy on the front end. And definitely you can taste the citrus in there. Really good IPA. If you like IPAs. Now if you don't like IPAs, or you don't like what I just reviewed, be sure and leave a comment, or leave a comment if you like it. All right, thanks everyone. Oh, by the way, this one is 8. That's right, 8 thumbs up. 4, 5, 6, 7. That should be 8. If not, let me know. Bye. Hey everyone, Javier here. Another beer review. Thanks to the team out at Boutique for staying open and keeping me in full supply of different beers that I can try out. Today, Full Grown Scallywag, coming from Tufts Brewery out of McKinney, Texas. As you see, it says it's an imperial stout brewed with coconut and vanilla and a 12.1 ABV. So let's take a look and see. We don't have as much sun as usual, but you can see beautiful look to that. There's a little hint of yellow coming off the top. I don't know if you can see that in the video. Let's take a drink. Very good. Very, even though it says very chocolatey. In fact, it must be that vanilla. It's bringing out the flavors in there. Coconut as well, but more on the back end than the front. So it's really good. Nice finish. Good start. I'm gonna give this one 9.5 stars. So the 9.5, or thumbs up, I should say. All right. everybody. If you disagree with me, please post. If you agree with me, please post. And I'll talk to y'all again tomorrow. And I'm back. So that was Everything Rhymes with Orange, which was previously Nothing Rhymes with Orange, and Scallywag. So I don't know if you've had those beers before, but they were looks like they were both pretty good. Be sure and send me any feedback if you would, for some of the beers that I've been posting, either the ones from today or from some of the previous episodes. And so for those of you who are new, welcome to the show. For those of you who have been here before, I hope I'm hitting all the salient points that you would like to hear about on the show. Please feel free and get back to me with feedback one way or the other. Also, always looking for new subscribers. So if you have this is the first time hearing it and you want to continue to listen to the show, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. For those of you who may not have hit that channel yet, you can search for Javier in the Air, and then you can subscribe to it, and you will get a notification every time I post a new podcast. So, something else to think about in November is what's coming up around the corner, which is December. So, you try to do your best and try to stay in the moment with November, but then December creeps up on you, and then you're like, what am I going to do for that? So we're going to try to stay in the month of November for here. We're going to, coming up in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to try to do a stout panel that may flip into or slide into December a little bit, trying to stay focused on that. And we are going to go with stouts. So if anybody is interested in joining the beer panel, please shoot me a message, and I'll get you on there and add you to the thread that we've been using on Facebook to talk about setting up a time to do that. So it looks like it's going to be stouts, any stout. I'm going to try to get 6 to 8 beers like we did last time. Hopefully, the people on the panel who aren't local to me, like my cousin Jesse and Candace, will be able to find some of the stouts. And if you want to join us, like I said, just let me know, and then we'll get you the list and then see if you can find it. It's okay if you can't. You can try to find a local stout or your favorite stout, and then you can give a review on that. And if you looked at the last review, I think it went over very well. And the pumpkin beers, we had a great time doing it, and we're looking forward to the next one. And we being everyone on the panel. Okay, so that's coming up in November. Hopefully in November we'll keep it in November. Next week I will. This will be our Thanksgiving special episode. I probably won't release it until actually Thanksgiving Day, maybe the following uh, day, Black Friday, on that Friday, because I want to get in everything that we can from Thanksgiving. I'm hoping that I might have some video of a tamalada. For those of you who may not know what a tamalada is, it is actually the great get together. Sometimes it can be very small, two, three, 4 people. Sometimes it can be really huge. I've heard of groups of like 30 to 40 people who get together and make the tamales that will be used for the rest of the season. So I'm hoping that I can get some videos of friends and family that are doing them and see how they do it and makes it part of their tradition. So even the smallest one I know of is still making like 10 dozen tamales. So that's a lot of tamales. That's a lot of masa. So those of you who may not be familiar with it, I hope that you get familiar with it after this podcast or the podcast that comes up with it. And if you're not familiar with tamales and you don't live in the Southwest, this may be something interesting that you may want to actually try out and order and that sort of thing. So that brings us to the end of November, which would be something that I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get more flavors of people around town, around my little town of Cedar Park, around Austin, around Texas, and around the world. So if you're interested and you know someone who's passionate about anything really and can talk at least 5 to 10 minutes about it, then shoot me a message and let me know, and I'd like to interview them and get them on here because I have a lot of people from varying interests, from varying fields, varying areas, varying backgrounds, various cultures that would be interested in hearing what makes you passionate about something and what it is that you are passionate about. And it can be just about anything. Again, I avoid religion and politics because that's too much of hot button topics. I will talk about the virus from time to time, even though that can be kind of contentious as well. But I will talk about just anything else that you are interested in. I might start having some book reviews as well. And so anything else, I've gotten some feedback for that. So if there's any other feedback that you guys want to see on my show, please let me know. And we're getting into the crunch time of the holiday. So we'll might be talking about how to stay healthy. Actually, we will be talking about how to stay healthy during the holidays, how to eat, and still enjoy, but not go crazy too much. We'll have the stout panel. We'll talk about some of the delicious Christmas cocktails and shots and all those types of things that are interesting. We'll have a bar. We'll have a bar set up and we'll talk about some of the cocktails. I'll make some of the cocktails. Hopefully, I can start having an assistant that will be able to help me with the filming so that it's not just this one-on-one perspective, which I know gets lost a little bit when I do some of the cooking. We will do some of the cooking as well. Maybe I'll try to find a package wrapper extraordinaire who might be able to show us how to wrap some of the packages that we're trying to get out. So we'll see how the next couple of podcasts go. Please send me your feedback. I've been getting a little bit. It's trickling in here and there some feedback. Some people are telling me directly. Some people are posting in the podcast thread, and I appreciate to hear from you. I won't use your name if you don't want me to. I will use your name if you will let me, and I will take any and all feedback to heart, and I will do my best to continue to keep this podcast going and make it interesting for anybody and everybody who likes to see it. So this is another short one, which I know some people are happy about, but I'm gonna nail down whatever I can. And so I am enjoying this, and I will continue to do this. And so I hope everybody has a good week. This is November 15th. So I hope you have a good Monday through Saturday, and I will see you again next Sunday for Javier in the Air. Thanks a lot. Have a good evening.